games, Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, with 10 things we hate about the 1980s movie Mother's Day and the 2010 loose remake Mother's Day. We've already done 10 things we love about these two films. We are combining the two because it is an original and a remake, similar to how we did My Bloody Valentine a few months back. So it's both movies in one. I have 10 things I hate about it. You have 10 things you hate about it. I started the love, so you might as well get us started on the hate.
Okay, so I'm going to jump straight in with, I think there's too many characters in the 2010 film.
Right, okay, yeah.
Too many to kind of care about, remember the names. I
Yep.
struggle with the names a lot. I just think there's like too many people. I think you could have had a party scenario where people gone filed out home and they left you with like a smaller core of people.
Okay.
I feel like there's too many characters in the second one.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I would argue, yes, that at least 4 that are almost superfluous to the plot.
Yeah.
But they're only there really, I think, to take the extra, to add the brutality to the movie.
Yeah, because
you think about it.
Extra people to kind of deal with, yeah.
Yeah, just add these kind of more grim fucking scenes than anything else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have just been a lot of talking and shouting and threatening, where you needed characters to actually have the punishment dealt out on. That was them.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, there is that. I just kind of like, I can't remember the names.
No, I agree. I do agree with you on
Yeah.
that front. It's not like there's a bunch of like a lot of the characters characters I ended up referring to as actors' names. Like I can't remember for the life of me what Frank Grillo's character's name is, but I know that's Frank Grillo. Do you see what I mean?
That was the husband, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dave?
But it doesn't matter. But I just see Frank Grillo, so like that's how it is. Sean Ashmore, I get stuck on. I remember it was George mainly because he was a good character.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. I don't have it though.
Yeah.
I'll start with the 1980s one then.
Yeah.
And the pacing. Now it's a fairly short movie overall, but it's a little all over the place. And by that I mean you kind of get this almost like a cold opening. Where you introduce the mother and she kills off these her son's killed off these 2 hippies.
Yep.
And then you get this really long 15-minute-ish section of character development. And then boom.
Yeah.
Mid-conversation, they're attacked by the brothers.
Yeah.
And then you get a really slow middle, including a really long cat and mouse style thing through the woods.
Yeah.
Slow scenes like that. To then the last 10 to 15 minutes where it's just like boom, 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 here we go again.
Yeah.
That pacing is all over the place.
Yeah, couldn't have done better on that one. Yeah. So I found as a very lazy plot device in the 2010 Mother's Day.
Yeah.
The affair.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
So I doubled up on that one. I just felt like you could have had another angle. Obviously, the death of a child is traumatic enough. I don't know if you had to throw a divorce in there to make your point, hammer your point home that there might be frictions and stuff like that. I think losing a child is going to be enough of a struggle for a couple as it is.
I thought about this afterwards, and I agree. It is one of the most dumbest additional plot points that is barely touched upon anyway. It doesn't actually matter or go anywhere, but I think they did it to make Beth seem more sympathetic. Now, here's the thing. Beth, the spoilers are here. You're watching this video. Beth is the one who stole the money and has been hiding and keeping the money. Even her husband, Frank Grillo, doesn't know that she has it. And it's implied that she's doing it because she wants to start a new life with just her and a baby. All of that is horrible. Yeah. Horrible, selfish bullshit. And I think the fact, like, to make her seem more persistent, like, well, look, let's have him have an affair.
Yeah.
And that
he's a dick as well.
My Bloody Valentine, the remake, did exactly the same thing, where it was like, well, we're going to throw this in to make this person seem unlikable. Where in this case it's to make the character seem more likeable. Like, we're supposed to cheer Beth on a bit more because he was having an affair anyway. Even like I said, it's 2 scenes of that affair thing where there's a knowing glance between the 2 people involved, and then mother calls
it out. Yeah,
calls it out. And Beth's like, oh yeah, I knew he was having an affair at the end, but it's like, no, it didn't need it.
No.
You could have just, as you said, run with the trauma.
Yeah,
that she fell out of love with her husband.
Yeah, because she might have blamed him for it.
Yeah,
because she wouldn't say it, things like that. Like, yeah, that's a.
But that wouldn't make her as likable.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I think. Yeah. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you on that one. But once again, I don't have it. Sticking with pacing, 2010's film has some ballsy, dragged out scenes.
Yeah.
How this film is an hour and a half, it could have been 75, 80 at a push. Yeah. And one of the parts that you probably remember the most for being dragged out is the finale. The finale. It goes on way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long. To the point where you kind of just want something to happen, even though shit is happening.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's like, they're basically, the fight between Beth and Mother, it's just too long.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, it's supposed to be like action-packed, but it's not.
No.
Because it's like, you're not actually doing anything here. And other times as well, no, I'm going to get, no, I won't mention this one because it's another specific point I'll get to.
Yeah, because on that, it was like, so that the car, when he goes out and takes the wife out to go get the cash and stuff like that, that was like, I thought that was quite drawn out and things like that.
Yeah, that was really drawn out,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, just get home already?
Yeah.
Just had it boring, a bit slow. So mine was like another one linked to what I did about the divorce. The affair part of it was best character. It's like her behaviour. So like you say, you're supposed to feel like I did have that one. So again, it's another thing I thought. The whole film. Why would you not just say? I thought it's a bit unbelievable.
Yeah.
Your friends, your loved ones are threatened. Yes, that's my main point of hate is no one would do that. No one would do that.
I think at first you might be like, oh, you know what, let's not take this too seriously. You know, go, oh, she's so desperate to say, you know, to have this new life with her child or unborn baby. But by a certain point, yeah, it becomes unbelievable. It becomes, and that's again another reason why I think they threw the affair in.
Yeah.
Because the level, the entire thesis of this violence that is meted out to these people comes from the fact that they believe this money's there and that they haven't got it.
Yeah.
And if once they get it, they'll effectively go.
Yeah.
So by her keeping that hidden, by the end you'd be like, you're the fucking villain.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah, because say if you'd have given them the money, I'm sure if you said to your friends afterwards that I'm really struggling, I want to make a new life, could you help me? Your friends would help you. So I mean, like that's another bullshit.
We have weirdly identified her as the main villain in this movie because I just thought of something else that makes her another villainous character.
Yeah.
So she's happy enough to take all her bank cards and go out and withdraw their money, even though she knows he has that money, to give them money. She also then calls her friend who owns a business and instructs him, tells him to give him a safe code to take his business's money from the safe. All when she knows she has that money.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh my God! No wonder why they threw the affair. And he must have been writing her and been like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
How do we salvage this?"
Our husband's having an affair.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I just think
Well,
that really irritated me.
No, it's a very valid point. Oh. All right, back to the 1980s film for me. And let's be honest, it looks like shit. It looks like shit now. It is one of those that has aged horribly. You can watch movies from the 80s and they look great. This looks like it was made in the 70s and made poorly in the 70s as well. Yeah. And also that Troma humour, it never ages well either. And it doesn't age well in this. You know, if you will put Mother's Day on and you didn't have a goal reason to be watching it, I reckon you might turn it off after the first 10 or 15 minutes. It's not pretty on the eyes.
Yeah. My next one. The sons in the 1980 film were buffoons.
Yes.
And sometimes you wonder how they'd ever not been caught. Because they're not exactly particularly good at what they're doing. Like the fact when they tie them up or they don't bother tying them up, go, oh, they'll be fine, the girls ain't going nowhere. And then they do. It was like, how have you not been caught before? Like, you can't be that dumb and not be caught out and things like that.
Well, it's interesting. It never really goes into depth or detail about if this is like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre style thing that they've been doing for X amount of years. You never like find like a grey pit. All we get is the hippies at the start and the girls in the movie. Obviously, you would have think, well, if you're doing that, you've probably done it before.
Yeah.
The best I could say is they live so isolated that they were picking people off who were
stupid enough to come out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is that, but sometimes
but they were buffoons.
They were buffoons, and you're like, how the fuck would you like get away with that? Because you're just idiots and you're being But I like the word buffoon, so I can't.
Fair enough. I've got a silly one here. I kind of mentioned it in the Love video. Yeah. And it regards Patrick John Fluger. Fluger, I believe that's how he says his last name. He is distractingly handsome.
Oh, that's one of mine. He's too pretty.
He's too pretty to dislike. Now, thankfully, they write him to be a pretty nasty piece of work. Yeah. That you do want to see him get his comeuppance. Yeah. But when he did die, I was a bit like, oh,
he's too pretty.
No, yeah. He is distractingly good looking.
Take all your cash out. Yes.
Yes, sir. What? Anything else? You know.
We doubled up on that one. I was like, he's too pretty.
He's a very good looking man. Yeah. Okay, double up. Right, in the 2010 film then. There are few too many poor decisions made that stretch the believability of the movie's plot. Now, 2010 stretches it in a lot of ways, but there's two in particular that stand out for me that just make you go, no.
Yeah, go on.
One, when Beth knocks Ike down in her friend's in his dry cleaning business, she knocks Ike down, and she tries to fire the gun, and it's empty.
Yeah.
But then she hits him and knocks him to the ground. Now, bear in mind at this point in the movie, we're lengthy into it, and she's already dealt out plenty. What does she do? Goes running past him to the front door, shaking the door. You didn't grab his gun.
Yeah.
You didn't kick him when he was down.
Yeah.
It's the not grabbing the gun thing that really made me go, really? You literally had a gun pointed at him a minute ago.
Yeah.
But you knock him down, you didn't grab his gun. Stretches the believability of it.
We don't like Beth anyway, do we? So.
However, the one that I think's worse is the police officer that is shot on the road. So he's shot on the road by Ike, who then sees he's still alive and tells Beth to run him down. Beth then finally does something good by instead speeding the car and then forcing it to crash. This police officer, having just been shot in the street, doesn't go back to his police car and call straight away for backup. He goes to check on her. Really? I don't buy it.
I would drive away,
No, you would be straight on that fucking, I've been shot.
Yeah.
The perpetrator's, the crash is crashed and so on. Because you also know the guy that shot you was in that car.
Yeah.
But the fact is, ultimately, we never see him do that. So, and if it's not until later on when one of the victims who survives in hospital writes it on a bit that we get that kind of development when the police find out.
Sense. Yeah, she's like, that girl was thinking, like, as soon as she gets, because she doesn't get conscious straight away, which makes sense. She's obviously been
in surgery.
Yeah, which makes sense. As soon as you kind of with it enough, you're like, shit, send help to this house.
So the fact that the police officer didn't do that, that's the point where I think they overstepped it and went, even if you'd had the police officer, like...
struggling back to the car.
or even just say to her, look, I've called for backup. Backup doesn't come instantly.
Yeah, and then he still got shot. It made more sense.
Then we are in the end game of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one. I thought the girls in the first film, the 1981, sometimes the introduction was a bit screechy and a bit annoying. You know that watching their slides. As much as I loved them, the
introduction,
it's a bit screechy and a bit. Sometimes when they kind of met each other, it's a bit like just died down a little bit. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Whereas the 1980s film made its victims likeable, which is the Rat Pack, the three women are likeable. 2010s, and you kind of we touched upon this when you said about too many. 2010s is a mixture of forgettable, or just people you just don't like, and it makes it hard to root for.
Yeah.
And the cliche is, you're right, it's cliche is that, they've all got buried secrets, or they've all feel this about each other really, or when tested, they're not really that close friends anyway. And it's like, we've seen that a fucking million times. Could we not just have people to root for? We have our villains. We have them. We don't need our victims, our heroes, with shades of grey, which is, I think, why I attached to Sean Ashmore's George so much. He's the only one, if you think about it, maybe not the only one, but a major one that isn't a shade of grey character, who is just likeable. But like, why can't we just have likeable characters? You have villains. You had three brothers, a mother, and arguably a sister. There's your villains. You know, you've got the victims, and even like sometimes we talk for this about Beth, they were also like, ugh, who am I supposed to root for? Come on, film.
Yeah, because it's a bit frustrating, and as well, like the whole sometimes like the cliches of some of the characters, like they want the girl with the tattoos. Ooh, she's a bit saucy. I find that a bit frustrating.
Right, we said this during the movie. I don't know where you got that from. I think you made that decision. It was not mentioned.
Oh, I think she's the only one with like visible tattoos, and they kind of played up to that. And there was
no, they didn't. They actually made the two men fight. If you remember. To choose which woman would go shag the brother, and then the two men fight over two different women.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was that at all. No. I generally think I'm going to massively disagree with you on this one. I said this during it. There's nothing in the movie that does that. There's nothing in the movie. She's not the one having the affair.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it.
Yeah, I see the point.
So it's the opposite of the cliche, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, the only time you could argue maybe that works is with Adley. He chooses her to sort of pretend to fake bang against the pool table.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was on purpose either. I think it was just who was nearest to hand.
Yeah.
Because her boyfriend is the one with the fake toupee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think you need to take a long, hard look at yourself there.
Fool.
Unnecessary rape scene in a 1980s film. The film would have been, without us having this rape scene, it would have made no difference to the overall quality of the film. It's one of those, you put it in there to what? Shock, surprise. Yeah. It's not graphic, it's not terrible in contrast to some. But whenever I see rape scenes in movies, unless it's integral to the plot, and I don't believe it is here, I'm just like, fuck you. Yeah.
I thought, the boyfriend in the 1980s one. It was just over the top. Like they'd quite make him quite obnoxious, but it was actually quite obnoxious in a quick way. So literally, everything he could, like all these little list of things he could do to be obnoxious, they put him in there to do. Like she leaves the house. I love you. Was it take care of yourself? Like,
he's like take care or see
take
ya.
care or see you later or something. But I think it was just literally right. We've got to showcase her boyfriend's a bit of a dick. He's going to make one conversation. He's going to do everything that's a dick. So
everything possible.
Yeah, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, because he takes money from her purse.
Yeah, it doesn't work, clearly.
Complains about like Harris to stay at home.
He's a Jez, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a Jez from Peep Show.
He's too creative, I can't work.
Yes. The Queenie finale scene in 1990 is unnecessarily tacked on. Whether you like it or not, that's fine. So Queenie is this, bogeyman of the outside world and so on. And in the last shot where the two girls are leaving, it kind of jumps to this weird slow motion thing as this sort of beastie character jumps into frame. Doesn't look great, and it slows down, and that's the end of the movie. It's just tacked on. Didn't need it. Do you know what you could have done?
Go on.
Had the bushes rustle instead. As the girls are walking away, have the bushes start to shake.
So you kind
then
of
you fade to black. So you're like, okay. Yeah.
It's not, nothing subtle.
No. So I don't really care for the tacked on bit. Yeah.
So I put number for 2010 one, overall too much going on.
Okay, that's a fair bit, yeah.
There's all like little subplots and like, I think was it the guy in the dry cleaners were trying to hide something because at first he didn't want to say where extra money was or something.
Which they also didn't elaborate on.
Yeah, like his wife was like overhearing a conversation. He was like, "Oh, there's a safe, and then there's another bit." I think I was talking about a gun, but it was just like, is it he keeping a secret from her? I just think there was too many little subplots going on, and like you could have, I just felt there's too much going on, and it didn't keep my focus. I forgot certain points of the film, so I had to go back and have a look because it was all bits. It felt a bit disjointed.
It comes from too many characters. Yeah, too many characters, not enough time trying to give them all a little bit here and there, and just ends up being messy. Yeah. The Shagma scene's on in 2010. It's just awkward. Again, you could argue, did it need to be put in? That is only two. I mean, I suppose it adds to the level mother will go to please her sons, so to speak, or keep them happy and whatever. But by that point, we didn't need it. And it's only about 2-3 minutes, and nothing really comes of it. Did we really need it? Could that have been just that? Could that have been cut? Yeah, it could have been. It wouldn't have made any difference if you think about it.
Yeah, because she was still fucked up.
Yeah. Got one more.
No, I think I've covered all mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Final one then. It's a big one. And it's one that really bugs me the most. And it's about the 2010 movie. And that is simply, after all this film, after all these brutalities, after all these characters getting killed and hurt and just hating these villains, the ultimate one doesn't get the comeuppance. No, we're not talking about Beth. She does get some form of comeuppance. Mother. She doesn't get comeuppance. Really. And what by that I mean is that she survives. She ends up stealing Beth's baby at the end.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Her sons might have been killed. So there is someone coming. But my mother not to get comeuppance. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. It's
left you cold.
Yeah, it's just cold. As much as you might dislike Beth as a character, it's a cold ending where you're not like, and it's not like, say, The Mist, where it's like gleefully cold. It's like, oh, okay. The only thing I think they did well with the finale is, if you remember, the movie opens with this baby being stolen, which turns out to be Beth's baby at the end of the movie. If you think back to the very first scene, it focuses on Mother's legs, or the woman dressed as a nurse's legs. Did you see what was wrong with her leg? Tissue scarring.
Oh.
Which later on you would then obviously know came from when she was in the fire of the house.
Ah, so that's clever. And as well, they made it very... I really enjoyed it as well. At the beginning, they made it very non-date specific, if that's the word.
Oh, yeah.
So there's nothing to kind of show it was particularly old. So in my head, I was like, was that how Mother got the kids? Because obviously the kids were like in their late 20s.
It could have very easily have
Yeah.
been. It could have been when she got Lydia,
Yeah.
who was the youngest.
Yeah.
So it could have been. Yeah, that was good. Whereas so it when it tied things, they're not cleverly tied together. We're like, oh, a twist.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, oh, it's good. It was well done. But the lack of comeuppance for Mother really fucking bothers me. Because this ain't a movie that's getting a sequel. This isn't a franchise or anything coming from it. It's already now 10 years old, this remake. So it could have really done with a bit more there. You know, a little bit just... Even if we'd had an extra scene after that where she gets... I don't know, she steps out of the hospital with a baby, thinking, yeah, and you see her face, but she's surrounded by police officers.
Yeah.
That's
something,
something, you know?
You can argue that Beth made some shitty decisions, but that child was like
Oh,
a
it's
new
a
start.
fucking evil
And
thing
that's,
to do.
yeah, and that's like just another...
Another thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Another bit we go, oh.
Yeah.
There you go. There's our 10 things we hate about Mother's Day 1980 and Mother's Day 2010. Let us know what you think of them in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?